Today, I'm talking about my problem with the NFL International Series and how the NFL still does not care for player health and safety on this edition of Shumake Take Rants. Let's get it. All right, and welcome in, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic, awesome, fantabulous freaking day. My name is Garrett Shumake, and you are listening to Shumake Take Rants number 7, and today we're talking about my problem with the NFL International Series. Now, before we get into it, I just want to say that this is not me bashing the NFL International Series in general. This is going to be me talking about the disregard for player safety, because the Packers and the Eagles are going to be playing in Brazil tonight, and they're probably going to be playing at the time of you guys hearing this video when it comes out. So I figured it would be a better time than ever to continue the train on the NFL not caring about player health and safety. But we're going to jump right into it. So before we talk about the Packers and the Eagles and the game that they're going to be playing, well, at the time of me recording this later tonight, by the time you guys are listening to it, it's going to be during the middle of the game probably. But we got to talk about what the NFL International Series is. So what is the NFL International Series? The NFL International Series is a series of games that the NFL plays that are outside of the United States of America. They play around the world. We've seen games played in London. We've seen games played in Germany starting last year. We've seen the NFL Europe. That's really not part of the International Series, but it was an old thing that the NFL had going. So the roots of the NFL playing and having leagues and playing football outside of America is pretty, it has a history behind it. It's not an uncommon thing. It's not a very new thing either. But the other thing about the NFL International Series is that it's part of a bigger international program that the NFL has. They're promoting flag football around all the countries in the world. They also have the International Player Pathway Program, where football players or athletes from other countries around the world have an opportunity to play NFL football. If you don't know, probably the most notable player that comes from this program is Eagles left tackle, coincidentally, ironically enough, Jordan Mailata. I don't even think I used ironic and coincidence right. Either way, you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, all of this is for the NFL is to grow their brand and make it a worldwide sport, more than just American like it is right now. And the idea is, spread it around and make it a worldwide sport. Make it similar to something like soccer, for example. But moving this now to the game being played either later tonight as of me recording this, or right now in the middle of the game as you guys are probably listening to it, the Green Bay Packers and Philadelphia Eagles are playing in Sao Paulo, Brazil at Neoquímica Arena. Just for a little bit of information about Sao Paulo, it is the 4th largest city in the world with a population of 11.45 million people, so it's a big city. And now you can start to understand why the NFL had a game scheduled there, because if you want to spread the NFL and spread the brand, you go to big cities around the world. And yeah, if it's the 4th largest city in the world, Sao Paulo is a great destination on paper to spread the brand of the NFL. This is a first NFL game in South America. We've had games played in Mexico, we've had games played in Europe, but we've never had a game played in South America. So in that case, you would think that's pretty cool. I'm kind of trying to build this here, trying to establish some context, as you can tell. And some other context for Neoquímica Arena, it's a soccer stadium. And the home team that plays there are known as the Corinthians. And here's where our problem comes in with the Packers and the Eagles playing there. If you don't already know, well, now you're going to. The Corinthians have a rival. They're called the Palmeiras. And what color do they wear prominently on their uniforms is green. The Corinthians and the Corinthian fans hate the color green because it represents the color of their primary rival. To put this into context, here's some information that I got from an article from the Associated Press. I'll drop it down in the description down below. I highly advise you give it a read. But The rivalry between the Corinthians and the Palmeiras is over 100 years old. So, I mean, it predates even like when modern soccer was a thing. And this is just to put into context how big this rivalry is between them. Not to mention, they hate the color green so much that players can be fined if they're spotted wearing clothes or shoes of that color, and sponsors need to adapt if they want to be associated with a soccer club with the Corinthians that have more than 35 million fans. So this is not just some little South American soccer club. No, this is a huge, widely known soccer club if you follow like soccer around the world, and it has a huge fan base. And something that I also found with the Associated Press and the article that they came out with, that they dislike anything green so much that executives for the Corinthians about a decade ago or so tried to actually paint the field black because they didn't want the field to be green. That kind of tells you how big this rivalry is between these two teams and how much they hate the color green. And also, when the NFL was trying to schedule this out, they decided that the Eagles will wear their new alternate black helmets, white jerseys, and black pants, which are the colors of the Corinthians, and they are going to be the representative home team of this game. And then the Packers will play in their traditional white, yellow, and green jerseys, which are similar to the colors of Brazil's national, well, they are the colors of Brazil's national flag. And according to the Associated Press, a Corinthians officer had told a reporter that works there that the uniform changes came after a request by the team president of the Corinthians, who claimed green was only allowed for visiting teams. And as you can already tell, there's a problem brewing here. Before we even get into the meat and potatoes of the rant, what's the NFL doing? What is the NFL actually doing here? If they're scheduling a game to be played in South America, wouldn't you think that the stadium or the venue that you're going to be hosting it, considering it is soccer, which the fan base in soccer and their values and their game day traditions go deeper than any other sport in the world, wouldn't you think to take a couple minutes to do a little bit of research on the team that plays there and maybe any rivals that they go up against? Wouldn't you like have to look into any of that? Like, because when you go to a foreign country in general, whether it's for the NFL or you're just a tourist going to visit a foreign country, you have to look into their culture. You have to look into things, do your research first before you go. You can't go into a foreign country blind. You're not supposed to do that. That's very irresponsible and very unprepared. And the NFL was very unprepared. They did not do their research. And now we got two teams that wear the color green playing in a stadium in Brazil where the Corinthians rival the Palmeiras wear green, and it's an informal ban on wearing the color green. Like, I just smacked my mouth. like, come on, Roger Goodell, come on, NFL. Like, what are we doing here? You pick two teams that wear green to go play in that stadium. 5 teams in the NFL wear green: the Eagles, the Packers, then the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Seahawks. You can possibly make an argument for the Jaguars, but their primary color is teal. That's the official color, so it's like a bluish green. If you want to put it there, sure. If you don't want to, fine. I'm not going to, because teal looks more like blue to me. But that's not what we're talking about. And not only did they, pick 2 out of 5 teams that wear green to go over there to a game where it's informal, where there's an informal ban on wearing green. They picked the 2 teams that have the most green on their uniforms. Well, the Jets probably do more than the Packers, but still, out of those 3 teams, 2 out of the 3 have the most prominent green on their uniforms. What are we doing here? This makes absolutely zero sense to me. I don't know who called the shot, who called to get the Packers and the Eagles over there. I really have no idea. And if someone does know, let me know down in the comments. Please add more information to this side of the story, because I literally have no idea who called this. I don't know who didn't do their research and who greenlit this idea. And then again, shame on the Corinthians. Shame on the Corinthians organization for allowing it to happen and to get to this point as well. We're going to mostly dog on the NFL here on this rant, but some blame has to shift to the Corinthians too for allowing it to get to this point, and then, they wear green. They can't wear green, and it's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Like, no one caught this. No one did the research on either side. No one caught this very simple oversight that could have been fixed. There's 32 teams in the National Football League, and only 5 of them wear green. You couldn't pick 2 out of the other 27 available teams that don't wear green to go down to that stadium and play on Friday Night Football on Peacock, which is another load of bullcrap. I almost said the wrong word. But it's just dumb. It just comes off as very unprepared, irresponsible, whatever the word is, like you don't do your research, uneducated, and it makes the NFL look really bad. It makes them look misinformed. It makes them look ignorant because they don't know what they're doing and they're not taking the time to spread their brand of football and at least do research on where they're going to play. And that doesn't look good. If you're a brand trying to expand, when you make a mistake like that, that doesn't look good for your brand. And it only gets worse because we got to get into the meat and potatoes. And what you heard in my intro, it's the NFL still does not care for player health and safety. I know we all know this. I know it's a broken record at this point among players and fans. But I'm going to drive this home more than I probably need to. But good God, out of all places to expand the NFL, you've already been to Europe. You've done London. You've done Germany. The NFL Europe was a thing. And I get you want to spread it around the world, not just Europe. But here's the thing. If you go to South America, out of all places you could have went, why would you go to Brazil? And here's the thing. If you don't know anything about Brazil is a very, very, very unsafe country. It is full of crime. It is full of a lot of very bad things. And I'm going to give you some knowledge here. This is from Forbes magazine. Is Forbes a magazine? Either way, this is coming from Forbes. I will drop this article down in the description as well. I will say, if you do not have a free Forbes if you don't have a Forbes subscription, you get 4 free articles. So if you already watched 4 articles and you don't have a subscription, you might not be able to view it. So for that, I apologize. That is a disclaimer. But for most of you, you should be able to view this article published by Forbes very recently. And according to them, Brazil has the 7th highest crime rate in the world, and its violent crime rates are extremely concerning. Brazil's murder rate was 23.6 homicides per 100,000 people. This was back in 2020, and it's been as high as 30.8 in previous years. Now, this video is probably going to be, YouTube's probably going to trying to be taking me down for saying words like murder and homicide, but here's the thing. Right now, at the time of recording this video, I only have 8 subscribers. I don't really care. I'm here to talk about football and keep it real and keep it honest, because that's what talking about football is all about. It's talking about getting on the facts, being honest, while also giving your opinions, being fair, and also, I went to school for journalism. The journalistic side of me is to give you guys all the facts that I possibly can to inform you guys as much as humanly possible, as much as I can. Excuse me. And also, from Forbes, Brazil's greatest problem has been organized crime, drug cartels, which has expanded a lot over the past few years, and violence between rival groups is a common occurrence. Like I said, drug cartels, trafficking, corruption, and domestic violence are all pervasive issues in Brazil. So, the NFL wants to expand. The NFL wants to grow their brand. And your first thought was to agree to send 2 prominent NFL teams, mind you. Not younger teams. No, you send 2 of your, well, arguably with the Packers, one of your most historic franchises and one of your teams that's on the up and up going into this year. People are expecting the Packers to do a lot of good things. And then you have the Eagles, who are one of the best teams in the NFC right now. They're a top 3 team in the NFC. And so you send 2 prominent teams over to a country that's riddled with crime and it's literally all drug cartels. The whole country is run by drug cartels, practically. And you send two NFL teams over there. You send hundreds of people over there just so you can grow your brand. Just because Sao Paulo has 11.4 million people in it. And it's like, what's the NFL doing here? If you want to grow your brand internationally, that's fine. But why are we sending the players, sending the coaches, sending the strength and why are we sending so many people out to a country that's so riddled with crime that players were told to not leave their hotels? They were told not to leave their hotels, and players have shown their disdain for going to Brazil because of how dangerous it is to be over there. What is the NFL doing? This is such a bad look for the NFL as an organization. Because if you're a professional athlete, the one thing you look for when you're playing sports is how is my organization, how are my teams going to take care of me? And you're a football player, and you're going to the NFL, and then you hear, they're sending players into a very crime-riddled country in South America. Like, what are we? I don't understand. I don't understand what it is with the NFL and why they don't want to just take care of their players and take care of their health and take care of their safety. Why? Why would you do that? It just doesn't make any sense to me. This one's probably the rantiest rant I've ever done, because there's not that many facts. I mean, other than what I just listed. But this is just another thing of the NFL not caring and being ignorant, being uneducated, being irresponsible with their players. And I said it in the previous rant on Rant 6. Throw a card up there so you can go check it out. But these players, these are investments. They are investments to the owners, and they are what sell tickets and put people in seats. They are what keeps the NFL moving. The stars are what people turn on the TVs and what people pay tickets to go see. And when a star player is injured or when they go out of a game, the investment's not as there. From a fan perspective, the fans aren't willing to watch a game if the star players aren't in it. And, I'm not saying, like, God forbid something happens. I would never wish that to happen. But you can't be taking your players, and you can't go throwing them in a crime-riddled country like in Brazil and be, throwing them in danger like that. To any native Brazilians out there, I mean no shade to you. I mean no shade to your culture. I probably should have made that disclaimer first before absolutely just dunking on the country of Brazil. But by no means am I trying to purposely disrespect the country. Do I hate Brazil? No, I think it's a beautiful place. But we have to acknowledge that it is a very crime-riddled area. And the NFL just sent hundreds of its employees down into one of the most dangerous areas in South America just to play a football game and to grow the brand of football in the NFL. And like I said, it's just irresponsible. It's very irresponsible, and it's just straight up wrong. It's straight up wrong. When you send players to go play in London or when you send players to go play in Germany, it's a lot different because, sure, there's crime in Germany. There's crime in London. But drug cartels aren't running the entire country. It's not one of the most dangerous places to go. And it just makes zero sense to me. And then when you hear that players are not allowed to leave their hotels, and then players are openly showing their disdain for playing in Brazil, they talking about how bad it is from their perspective, it goes to tell you that playing in Brazil is not a good idea. And ultimately, everything's going to be fine. The game's going to play, and the players are going to be okay, and they're going to get back, and it's all going to be fine. As you can tell, I'm knocking on wood a lot. But the NFL just has to do better. The NFL has to do better, and what this means is that the NFL is willing to send players anywhere if it means spreading the brand. It doesn't matter where they go, doesn't matter what teams go, when it is. the NFL is going to send it 2 teams, send multiple teams to another country in the world, potentially without doing any research, if it means they want to grow the brand. And if viewership is a success, it'll only encourage this. Now, I'm not going to tell you, oh, don't watch the game. Don't watch your favorite team play. If you're an Eagles fan, don't watch the Eagles. If you're a Packers fan, don't watch the Packers because you should care more about NFL player and safety. No, I'm not going to tell you that. And I'm not going to encourage any NFL fan in general to not watch this game. But I have to say that a lack of viewers will steer the NFL from doing this. Maybe not from sending players to foreign countries, but at least with a streaming service, maybe. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about there, if I'm being entirely honest with you. But it's just, I can't stress it and repeat it enough that this is wrong. It's just wrong for the players, and if something really bad did happen, it would look really bad for the NFL as an organization. And me and my friends, we were talking about it last night at the time of the recording of this video. You know, if something were to happen, it would cause a ton of problems. It would cause not just NFL problems. I mean, it would cause a straight up chaos. It would cause chaos and disaster. And the fact that the NFL wouldn't do their research and they sent the players somewhere a country that's dangerous, it's appalling to me. And as I said before, the players are what people pay to go see. It's the players that put so much into the NFL that helped the NFL grow as a brand in the first place. It's the players, the star players that have been grown to be loved worldwide in certain areas, that the NFL is able to expand and become a worldwide sport. American football is going to become a worldwide sport, not just American. But it just looks really bad, and I probably can't say anymore without repeating myself over and over and over again. This one was very opinionated, obviously, as you can tell, but I've listed out the facts about the game that's happening, the soccer teams that play there, the history of why there's an informal ban on the color green, and why Brazil was not the place to send NFL players in ways with the purpose to grow the NFL brand, because it's irresponsible. It's wrong. And for Roger Goodell, you're never going to watch this video, but I'm going to say it to you anyways, right here on camera. Get your crap together. Get your crap together and start caring more about your players' health and safety. Safety. Because sending players to a crime-riddled country that is very dangerous, as I've said numerous times already, is irresponsible, neglectful, and it looks really bad on you, and it looks really bad on the NFL as an organization. But that is going to do it for me today on this rant. Let me know what your thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure I threw a card up there earlier. Make sure you go check out Rant 6, where I talked more about the NFL not caring about player health and safety. And don't forget to do what every YouTuber tells you to do. You already know the drill. Like, subscribe, share the video if you want to, and watch the video all the way through. Everything, all of it helps me out a ton, and I would appreciate it a lot if you do. But that will do it for me today. I will see you guys on Wednesday, where we recap all of NFL Week 1. And I didn't talk about Chiefs and Ravens today because I'm saving it for that point. But just a little precursor, the game was not as close as the final score intended or final score showed. But that will do it. Like I said, don't forget to do everything every YouTuber tells you to do. And I will see you on Wednesday. Thanks for watching. Boom.